Good day, everyone. I'm Ravi from Ravi Talks. Today, we are going to talk about some of the critical events or activities that needs to be considered before we go for PA planning in SAFE. In my view, if there is no proper PA planning, there is no SAFE. So let's see what are the important activities that needs to be considered, especially from grooming the future, so as to keep it ready for the upcoming PA. So based on my experience and based on my interactions with various organizations and enterprises, I have come up with a remote PA backlog grooming facilitator checklist. Today, all of us are working in a remote environment wherein the teams are distributed, team members are dispersed across the globe. So it's so important that we plan our backlog grooming sessions effectively so as to ensure that our PA planning is going to be a more effective one. Let's talk about what are the various important things that needs to be considered. The most important thing I can say before we get into the PA planning is the feature backlog grooming. The feature backlog grooming plays an important role in PA planning. The reason being, team members understand the features, they break them into the user stories and estimate them, and also try to identify their dependencies across various teams, not only within an art, but also outside an art. If the team members are not able to understand the features, or if the team members are first time seeing the features in the PA planning, then it is really very difficult to manage the team within the given amount of time. And also, it is so important that team members understand the importance of all the features, and also they should also understand the top 10 features that's been targeted for the upcoming PA. So one of the effective way to ensure the team is very much comfortable in PA planning session is to conduct as many as backlog grooming sessions as possible. However, since the teams are distributed and the teams are dispersed, it's so important that we plan them in an effective manner. The most important thing I can say is that product owners should understand what are all the top 10 features that's been targeted for their PA in the upcoming one. And most important thing I can say is that the product owners should talk to their business, understand, prioritize, and then call for a discussion with the team members so as to groom them. If you don't groom the stories, if you don't groom the features properly, there is a heavy chance that team members might not be able to estimate them properly during a PA planning working session. Hence, these are all some tips that one needs to be considered based on the experience whatever I have. The preparations checklist, I can say that ensure features are identified by upcoming PA are getting available in the work management tool along with estimated story points. Most importantly, the collaboration tools. Since we are working remotely, we are distributed. It's so important that team members are also aware of what kind of different tools, the collaboration tools that we use during the backlog grooming sessions. And most importantly, today, since all the teams are distributed and they're dispersed across the globe, we need to agree on time zones which are of comfortable to each and every resource on the team. And we need to ensure that we have been inviting all the critical stakeholders to the meeting. The reason being, feature backlog grooming session is it's not all about a kind of discussion just between the product owner and the teams. It is also important that we even invite all the relevant stakeholders or subject matter experts or system architects, whoever we feel they are really relevant for the discussion. We should also invite them to be part of the backlog grooming sessions. Okay. And once it is done, the most important thing is that the schedule some time for the feature backlog refinement. That is also important one. And we need to ensure that the team members, all the team members participate in the backlog grooming sessions. So some of the times I could see, based on my industrial experience, we know that PA planning is of really very, very critical, but most of the times we don't pay a lot of attention to the lot of attention in terms of grooming the features. Why? Because I see teams thinking, or I see the stakeholders, or product owners thinking that, hey, we have anyways the PA planning session. Probably we can do the grooming there, and accordingly teams can break the features into the stories and estimate it, and it's going to be a really very very tough job. Believe me, until unless we have the proper backlog grooming sessions, the PA planning is going to be a very challenge to each and everyone. Okay, and the most important thing, the various strategies for conducting BA backlog grooming sessions across multiple time zones includes, even though if you know that when we start the backlog grooming sessions, we don't have all the requirements, all the features, understanding on all the features, that's fine, but at least my recommendation is to ensure that we are starting feature backlog grooming sessions at least fourth or fifth iteration of existing PI, and probably every week we might allocate 1 to 1.5 hours, so that when we initially start the backlog grooming sessions, the product owner can tell all the members within the train, stating that, hey, these are all the top 10 features that we are targeting for this PA. Do note that initial list may be very draft, but the intention is to make the team feel comfortable in terms of understanding the features and make them aware of what kind of features that they're going to work in the upcoming PA. Okay, and so in the backlog grooming session, then the product owner should be able to explain the feature and allow the team members to ask as many questions as possible. And the reason being, the feature backlog grooming session is not just all about grooming or understanding the feature in details. It is also important that as part of our discussion, we might need to focus much on what kind of dependencies that we have, in case if we have any, and how to coordinate with them in terms of ensuring that the feature gets delivered on time when we commit those features during the PA planning meeting. So all these are important points, especially when we talk about the feature backlog grooming. And most of the times I could see team members or teams just getting into the feature backlog grooming sessions. They talk about the features and they come out, but if you don't talk about identifying the dependencies, if you don't talk about the enabler features that are required, if you don't talk about the non-functional related features that are very much required, if you don't talk about the architectural runway that we need to focus in the upcoming PI, all these things are going to carry heavy weight during PA during PA planning session. So my recommendation here is that encourage all the team members to collaborate with the product owner and make them ask as many questions as possible. Have a healthy discussion. Try to understand the session, the backlog grooming sessions in an effective manner. Make the team understand the features. Ask them all the questions. Instead of we thinking about all the times the positive scenarios that one needs to handle, they can even think about what are the the negative scenarios that one needs to focus on, what are the different aspects that we need to consider while committing the feature. So these are all very very important things. And most importantly, when you identify any dependency during your PA backlog grooming sessions, it might even so happen in such a way that we might the required stakeholders might not be able to join backlog grooming sessions sometimes. So it's so important that once you identify any kind of dependencies during this backlog grooming sessions, it's so important that the respective scrum master who is there in these backlog grooming sessions would also make a note of the dependencies. And once the grooming sessions are done, probably he will I suggest I suggest them to coordinate with the required stakeholders, keep everyone appraised on the status. Okay, and if we can make use of this 1 to 1.5 hour recommended timing for every week starting third or fourth iteration of the existing PI, by the time you get into the PA planning, you'll be having the complete understanding, at least a good understanding on what kind of features that you are going to work on, and how to break them into stories, what kind of dependencies we have, where exactly we might likely to rise a risk, all these things are going to become very easy for the agile teams to make the PA planning success. So once we have this information successfully, I mean, it even enables us to present our team boards more effectively, and would even enable us to have very good program board at the end. So these are all the some of the tips and techniques that we already spoke about it. Only one of the important points I would like to keep insisting here is that wherever it is possible, wherever you feel that you feel that you want to invite some other stakeholders or some subject matter experts, in the grooming sessions, try to invite them, but try to avoid the product owners, or rather the product management group, keep gathering the requirements from the business, till last week, at least before we start the PA planning. Then the team members, getting into the PA planning meeting without even having any knowledge on the features, they don't know anything about the features. That's itself sets up a anti pattern, and and we may not be able to get the desired result based out of PA planning. So I cannot say that it's just in the responsibility of product owner, or just the responsibility of agile team, and I cannot say that it's just responsibility of scrum masters. I can rather say that it's combined the train collaboration and effort, to make the train a safe transformation journey a successful one. Hope you enjoyed my session. Should you need any further information or support on backlog grooming sessions, or what are the different ways that we can make the PA planning sessions more effective, please do visit my YouTube channel profile, wherein you can call me, or wherein you can raise your queries to me through email as well. Hope you find this session is very useful to you. In case you like the session, please put your comments, and also do subscribe to my channel as well. In the coming days, apart from safe, we are also going to have many sessions on what are the different kind of development practices that one can use, especially during execution of PI, and also how can we make the trains or organizations to travel towards business agility. And along with the safe topics, we are also going to talk about the extreme programming practices, and also we are even going to talk about the lean. We are even going to talk about the various Kanban, how to make use of Kanban visualized flow. Okay, thanks a lot. Please keep waiting for my upcoming sessions. Thank you.